There you are, my girl. As you have faithfully retraced your path, now I, in turn, may shift you to a different sort of time in which a remnant of the monstrous Typhon yet looms large over this very place. Ready?
No, not yet. What shall happen if I prevail, let alone fail? Are you certain any of this shall even work?
Well, I am relatively certain, yes. The visions I can conjure up of Asphodel, the principle of this is much the same, and you have likewise demonstrated aptitude at breaking free of temporal restraints.
So I'm to launch toward the summit, where I'll find Typhon's forces from another time awaiting me. I'll deal with him as I once did, and you shall do the rest.
If all proceeds as planned, then yes. I shall create a shift as you depart. Seek that monster and do battle, so that we may yet eliminate even the possibility of him.
All right then, off I go.
Good, you are here at last. Now that you faithfully retraced your path, I ought to be able to manipulate the course of time such that you find yourself within the house, whilst a remnant self of mine sits on your father's throne. Ready?
Not quite. Shall this go much like on the summit of Olympus? The way you conjured up a vision of a time that could have been?
Well, I certainly believe this ought to transpire, as you say. Of course, that which awaits within shall perhaps be a little different in each instance that we venture thus.
Very well, then.
See you later. Oh, I am mere god. Sorry there, old boy. Accursed fates. Death to Chronos. What I feel most odd. You are no granddaughter of mine, that you would deign to treat me thus. May time flow freely forward. Time cannot be. This bottle's golden hue. I cannot imagine a more beauteous color, truly. I did not realize Olympus delighted in gold the way I do. Although you seem to prefer silver, granddaughter.
I always have. We work under the moon and stars. The sheen of silver reminds me of them. But gold now reminds me of Apollo, I suppose, and he is quite approachable, in case you haven't met.
Apollo, the musician. He seemed a talented young lad.
Good news, Grandfather. The three fates have returned, and they didn't mention any reprisal when it comes to you. On the contrary, they promised a new age would dawn.
Aye, but that is good news. Particularly the no reprisal part. And it is a relief to know the three have navigated out of temporary exile. But what is this about a new age?
Well, it sounds as though they're not planning to weave as much as they used to. And at some point, the gods apparently will hold less sway over mortals' lives.
But that is reminiscent of the golden age in which I ruled. Of course, once you've lived sufficient eons, you begin to see such patterns circulating constantly. That which is old becomes the new. How fares our family with all this?
I think we're all having to give it some consideration, though we'll have plenty of time. This age may not be soon.
Perhaps not, but even still, this age may arrive before you know it. Take it from me.
Time can move swiftly.
Out of the woods.
Grandfather?
Why, this is very generous of you. The House of Hades had a relatively small supply of this. But in my rancor, I had it all smashed up. This bottle I'll be careful to preserve.
Please, keep it, knowing nectar is also to be savored. As for those other bottles, their contents would have soaked into the earth, so perhaps the house is a bit brighter now. These are the possibilities of you whom I face. It's strange to speak with them as though none of this occurred.
Oh, very much so, yes. However, that is the reason they are possibilities and nothing more. Thus you may humor them before proceeding with the quite unpleasant bit.
And it doesn't trouble you to be involved? Personally eliminating something that looks just like you, that is you.
But I am me. For are we not the sum of our experiences, granddaughter? To reject one's stubborn old thoughts and ways, it can be quite invigorating. So let us carry on. I cannot
right
change
now.
the past.
Cut it
Such
out.
pain I caused. This bottle's golden hue. I cannot imagine a more beauteous color, truly. I did not realize Olympus delighted in gold the way I do. Although you seem to prefer silver, granddaughter.
I always have. We work under the moon and stars. The sheen of silver reminds me of them. But gold now reminds me of Apollo, I suppose, and he is quite approachable, in case you haven't met.
Apollo, the musician. He seemed a talented young lad.
Good news, Grandfather. The three fates have returned, and they didn't mention any reprisal when it comes to you. On the contrary, they promised a new age would dawn.
Aye, but that is good news. Particularly the no reprisal part. And it is a relief to know the three have navigated out of temporary exile. But what is this about a new age?
Well, it sounds as though they're not planning to weave as much as they used to. And at some point, the gods apparently will hold less sway over mortals' lives.
But that is reminiscent of the golden age in which I ruled. Of course, once you've lived sufficient eons, you begin to see such patterns circulating constantly. That which is old becomes the new. How fares our family with all this?
I think we're all having to give it some consideration, though we'll have plenty of time. This age may not be soon.
Perhaps not, but even still, this age may arrive before you know it. Take it from me. Goodbye again. Only for now, my girl. This shall not hurt at all. What have you done to me? Onward! I have a question for you, granddaughter, if you would share your point of view. Do you suppose I ought to permit myself to grow a beard? To fit in better with my children, I suppose.
Oh, that's largely a matter of taste. Personally, I think growing a beard would mostly make you look older. And my father and uncles aren't expecting you to be like them.
I do suppose that you are right. I always did prefer a cleaner countenance. Perhaps that is the very reason that my children opted otherwise.
I could see that.
This is impossible. Death to Chronos. Time cannot be stopped. How could this transpire? A time flow freely forth. You did this to me. How?
How did you reawaken Typhon, Grandfather? I always wondered about that. And to have caught the Olympians by surprise with such a monstrous being.
Oh, I would rather not discuss such bitter memories, but that monster's reawakening was in some ways akin to mine when Zacharias found me. On a much larger scale, of course.
I see, and I won't press you on it, but this may be strange to ask, though did you and Typhon know each other well?
He was the father of all monsters, showing no concern for his own brood, much less others. He was a means to an end. We were using each other, one could say.
I understand.
Granddaughter.
Hello, Grandfather. Should I change things up?
Cousin?
I partook of the nectar which you previously gave to me, and my, such a wondrous flavor. And so I thought, I've not yet rightly earned such privileges from you.
It's not a privilege. It's a simple gift. It's not even the fancy stuff. You'll have to try ambrosia sometime, especially since you enjoy a nice golden hue.
Ambrosia, yes. Perhaps at some point I shall have opportunity to share in it along with this family. But that I know shall take considerable time. No more for now, please, granddaughter. Not while so much is left undone.
Some other time, then.
Your father and his brother Zeus were generous enough to give me an opportunity to be of some small service to the underworld. The Isles of the Blessed are the finest spots in all Elysium, and I shall certainly keep them that way.
That's a high honor you've been given, Grandfather. Some of the greatest mortal heroes must be there. Shall the new responsibility leave you with time enough to meet like this?
Oh, I should think it shall be more convenient than before. Elysium is really not that far. You shall have to visit at some point, once your father's underworld renovations are complete, which I suppose may take another age.
Father does seem the exacting type. Well, all the best in the new role. Fate's willing. See you soon in Tartarus. Grandfather, Nemesis mentioned that she may have encountered you in Tartarus. How did that go?
Oh, very well indeed. I had presumed that only you would have capacity to face unwanted traces of myself, but as it happens, so can Nemesis, and she is very strong.
So she was serious. She confronted one of those traces with your aid and was able to prevail. What, did she hack him to bits with the Stygian blade?
Well, I prefer not to describe the details, but she used effective means. This must be possible only because she was so near your path before.
She truly did it.
You waste your precious time. Olympus burns. May time flow freely forth. May time flow freely forward. This I shall not forget. May time flow freely forward. I always shall return. But I thought none could possibly resist the ravages of time. But you, how? You, my vestige, shall unfortunately never know. Now forgive this old man his transgressions. May time flow freely forth. What I feel most odd. Is it all right if I occasionally meet you thus, granddaughter? I know our prior conversations here in Erebus were fraught, but I would dearly like to start anew.
I'll have to learn not to attack you here on sight, but let's give it a shot. What is it about this place that's so special?
Well, it is rather sentimental, but this is where you and I first met. In our time. Now that my memories are all mixed up, it is a moment which I realize I cherish. I had already heard so much about you. Seen you grow up.
It must feel strange to have known of me before I was even born. In any case, I'll see you when I'm closer to our goal.
Onward!
Grandfather? The wounds our family has suffered perhaps shall never truly heal, but you've at least tried to take some of the initial steps. So here, this is for you.
Oh, what a precious bottle. Thank you, granddaughter. Nectar from Olympus. But it does look rather good. The custom now is to provide some sort of gift in kind, is that not so? And here, if you please.
What an unusual device, and made of gold. Thank you. Grandfather, what of the three fates? You truly sent them into exile without knowing where they went.
Well, yes. Another terrible mistake I dearly wish to rectify. I'm attempting to locate them in the depths of possibility, except they could be almost anywhere in there.
There must be something we can do. Are they in any danger? And don't you fear reprisal if we ever find them?
I must admit I do fear somewhat more for me than them, but my attempts to resist the workings of the fates have never been successful in the past. Should they return, I shall accept whatsoever they may have in store.
We'll figure something out.
Absurd. This matters not. My plans are already well underway. May time flow freely forward. What is happening to me? You cannot stop me. Merely slow me down a bit. Death to Chronos, was it? Once more, you bested me.